Warning, this podcast is produced by Metaverse Ventures Entertainment. It contains unsolicited and heavily biased opinions which are solely the views of the individuals involved. It does not include investment advice of any kind, and you are responsible for undertaking your own financial, including tax liability research relevant to your own individual circumstances.
Outdoor decor manufacturing is live now. Yeah. Cheese, maybe you just want to, just for this segment that I'm going to cut up, maybe you can just give a quick wrap up of that whole angle that Coop has just agreed to.
What he just said right now?
Yeah, so, like the pushing it out for other people.
Yeah, I think when they open it up, he said when they open it up to more people that the max will rise as well.
I'm not sure.
But if it does, then
yeah, because
we know.
Obviously, I asked, as I was having conversations with UCC in the background, I was asking the team, is third-party staking going to be a thing? I got a definitive answer that no, third-party staking is not going to happen at release and not anytime soon, which I thought was strange at the time, but at that time we were not aware that 2 Spark was the maximum stakeable on the small factory. Cheese, DTech and I have made all these plans we have a very long-term mindset. This first outdoor decor set that we're releasing, the 10-piece outdoor decor set, we are expecting that this was going to take, a year or more to sell out. So that's why we pushed our mint numbers so high, 20,000 mints each for each item, because it's a common rarity. So, and what have we seen? I started the production of 4 items last night that we're going to take essentially 5 days to complete. The math on that is just mind-boggling. If we go at full capacity, assuming that we are allowed to manufacture for a full month before the sales rooms open and before we can selling, we might have, how many items are we going to have for sale, Cheese? Maybe 30, 40? Maybe. It's our whole business structure, everything we've been planning for all the way up until yesterday was we were going to have thousands upon thousands of items for sale. And now we're talking about a couple of dozen.
Yeah.
Where do you go from that? It's going to force us to completely reevaluate pricing. Like Cheese, DTech and I we've been on the full roller coaster with pricing. We've been like, no, we want to have our awesome stuff out in as many hands as possible. So let's get the prices dirt cheap and get it out there. So let's have them super low so that even beginner level people to the game can get involved. They can buy our full set. They can get the stuff out there, because obviously, there's exposure benefits of that and this, that, and the other thing. Then we started to price in the cost of renting Spark to produce these items, and that changes the picture completely. Okay, so now there's a cost associated with that. There is a cost associated with the sales fees. There's a 5% fee. There's also a cost associated because the business account is in my name, everything runs through my account. Now we have to track that carefully as far as sales and costs is concerned. When it comes the end of the month and I've got to send Cheese and DTech their cut of the business, there's a 5% fee associated with that on both ends. So there's costs involved there. And there's also the MetaVentures costs. So then, okay, you start thinking, well, those rock bottom prices that we were going to put out there, that's going to see us put all this time and effort in for no net benefit. In some cases, depending on the Spark price, we might have actually ended up in the red, which would just be a hilarious situation. So then
True. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, we swung the other way with pricing, and we started having conversations in the background with people, what would you be willing to pay for these sort of items, and showing them sneak peeks and that and the other thing. And then they went to the other extreme. They were saying, oh, that's awesome. I'd pay this much. And we were like scratching our head, holy crap. So we kind of settled somewhere in the medium, and then Upland sent us the Spark hour costs associated with the items, and that threw us all in a tizzy again. So we had to start from scratch again. So we rejigged all those numbers. I think the last meeting that we published, just after that, we stopped recording, and then we kind of nutted out some numbers, and we got to a place where, okay, this is the path forward. We can do that. That's really good. And then we found out that the 2 sparks the maximum. So that just throws everything out of whack. Can I access these background MetaVenture talks you mentioned? Yes, all of the ones that we have recorded are available on the Metaverse Ventures Entertainment YouTube channel. Yep, there's a playlist there. I think at this stage it'll be maybe a dozen hours or more that you could scroll through. But yeah, please don't try and watch that at 1x speed. Push it to 2x. Yeah. So yeah, and Cheese, you've just said in chat there, transportation is another cost that has to be factored in. Obviously, that's not happening now, but that's another cost. There's many different costs. Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
Do we know the spark maximum on the medium-sized factories?
No, we haven't been given any information about that at all yet. There's been suggestions put out there of, maybe the small is 2, maybe the medium is 6, and maybe the bigger one's 12. We just got no idea at this point, unfortunately, which also makes it hard to plan. And GFG has said, wonder if the item will say X of 20,000. Yeah, we don't know. One of the things that was really difficult for our planning was when we were submitting items to be approved, we had to tell Upland the maximum mint numbers that we wanted. So, we've said 20,000 mints, but we just got no idea what the market's capable of. And especially this is before all the spark restrictions. So we weren't sure if we put 20,000 items out there, we weren't sure if it was going to sell out in a month. We weren't sure if it was going to sell out in years. You just shooting blind, basically. So we put a high number out there, and then we figured it was better to have a high number of mints, and then we can adjust downwards, because there is you do not have to commit to producing all 20,000. Like if the sales tail drops off just to flatlines to nothing, well, we can just say, okay, we'll call it a day and we'll move on to other things. And so
Yeah, because
we don't know.
We wanted to have something that everybody can put in their backyards, and in regards to building up your property, like beauty or whatever towards the collection, if that's even a thing. I know Lizette talked on that a little bit last night, how outdoor decor can do that. So we have that element, plus we also have the collectors. We have like mythic, legendary, all these different kinds of collections that you can get other than the common and uncommon. Plus we'll also have like holiday and different like types of stuff to fit each of the nodes, like sci-fi or horror, stuff like that. So we had to, like Ben said, to his point, we had to figure all of this out and create like schemas for all of this and decide how many we wanted to put in. And this is all in our videos. So,
and that had to be decided, like for the just take the which everyone would have seen by now, is the bench seat with the red trim. Well, we had to tell Upland every single possible iteration of that design that we wanted. So, instead of a red trim, it was a blue trim, it was a yellow trim. We had to tell him all of the specifics, because as far as we were led to believe, we couldn't get down the road and say, okay, Upland, now we want to produce that same seat but in a black trim. They were going to say, well, hang on a minute, you didn't tell us about that, so no, you can't do it. So yeah, we had to do a whole bunch of planning on very little information. So there was another question in there somewhere. Where was it? Oh, about the mint numbers. There's something else there too. Yeah, we got no idea how mint numbers are going to work. We don't know, like those first 2 items I'm producing now, is that mint number 1 and mint number 2? Well, you would assume so. We got no idea about how the selling is going to go. Like we see with the MV motors that the first few mints were crazy expensive because they were mint number 1 and mint number 2. But we've got no idea if those mechanics are going to be available to us, or if we just have to put a base price and it's a random thing. Like if you happen to buy it first, we just don't know. And
Yeah.
because now our supply is going to be extremely, extremely limited compared to what we were planning for, it's a strange one. Like, we were expecting to be able to open the showroom and, like I said, have thousands of items for sale. But now you're talking about maybe a couple of dozen. So one of the things I did have questions. Oh, hang on. Option Guru said, you mentioned different textures or materials having different spark requirements. Any more details on that? Yes. Okay. So we submitted a whole bunch of items. Think of the sauna, which is actually quite a big decor piece. But then we had the statue or something like that. There was smaller decor pieces. So we got the spark hour requirements back from Upland. And I was trying to crunch the numbers this way. And the other thing with the up squared size, and when you submit your Blender files, you have to tell them the width, the length, the height of the models. So I was trying to crunch all those numbers to try and make sense of the spark hours requirements. But hang on, I get the feedback. Who's that? But yeah, none of that was making sense to me. So I asked about it, and it turns out that the materials that are visual in your models is a massive factor in determining the spark price. So if you were to make a statue of, I don't know, a statue of cheese, you make your cheese statue, right? If you say, and it looks like your cheese statue is made out of paper or it's made out of wood, that's going to have a completely different spark hours price compared to if it's made out of concrete or stone or titanium or something like that. So that was a bit of a tricky one to get our mind around, which is, it's kind of weird. So we've got the two things we're manufacturing at the moment is just the sitting with the table and the sitting with the fire pit. I believe, Cheese, maybe you can help me. The spark hours requirement is almost double for those. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's essentially the
because
same thing with a tweak.
the
But
fire pit was made out of stone.
yeah.
So
And that changes things as far as pricing goes as well. So we had all those conversations because originally we've got a 10-piece set, right? And we were going to make every single piece the same price to give people the the opportunity to buy the full set, or the kind of we want to inspire that collection kind of vibe. But then it just doesn't make sense to price it like that. If your spark hour requirements on one item is double something of, within the same set, you just can't price it like that.
yeah.
That's crazy. Does that mean we will be able to make precious metals or items like jewelry? Not sure. We did know that as part of some of the models that we submitted, we weren't allowed to have anything shiny.
Or see-through?
Yeah, transparent. There was no transparency, no shiny. Originally, we couldn't use water, which kind of threw our business completely for a six, because Samurai Aquatics, that was going to be our whole theme. But eventually, we pushed the limits there and they gave us a water texture. But then we weren't allowed to have what looked like flowing water. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of information that we don't have. I hope this changes for structure blueprints. Yes, back to my bullet point that I wrote down. Thank you, NFC, for blueprints. Ever since word got out in the kind of new players that myself, and I assume this happened with the other outdoor decor participants as well, that we have a decor shop open, people have been reaching out, say, hey, Ben68, I've got a small factory. Do you want to use this to build your decor? And we've been saying, thank you for the offer, but we'll be doing that all in-house as far as we're aware. And if there are opportunities like that available, we are the UDU team. Those opportunities will, of course, be offered to UDU team members first. Okay. This 2 spark restriction throws a lot of that for 6. Because again, we were assuming we were going to be able to handle the bulk of production ourselves. I suspect, I have no idea whatsoever, it's pure speculation. I suspect that the reason the spark restriction is so restrictive in the small factory is to kind of force us into a situation where we have to employ other production facilities. So
in a way that like that's good for manufacturing, but it's bad for customers who buy our NFTs because
yes,
we wanted to make them extremely affordable,
yes,
especially the ones that you could put like the commons and uncommons. The thing is, if we have to employ other people and give them a certain amount of the stuff, that means that these items are going to go up substantially to
Yep.
be able to afford that. So it's kind of a bittersweet sort of thing. Like, it's no skin off our back because we could just up the price, but at the same time, it's like in order for some people to win, others have to lose.
Yeah.
So if we do hire people to manufacture, the customers are going to lose.
Yeah,
You can't,
it's a
there's
tricky
never going to
balance.
be everyone's happy sort of thing. It is a business. It is, you know, in order for us to make money, that's like if we do most of the stuff ourselves, that's the way it like there are better prices for you guys, but the more we hire out, it's going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
No, not designs, manufacturing, Brown Height. Like,
Yeah.
so if like, let's say we need designs, we have me and D-Tech.
Yeah. Once they're
We're
approved,
not gonna, we're not gonna do anybody else on that unless it's a special order sort of thing. But once they're approved, then we need to help manufacturing. If we need to pay someone else to manufacture our stuff, that's gonna up the price
yeah,
of NFTs.
yeah, and like you said, it's not something that we had factored into our pricing at all, because we had assumed that we were going to be manufacturing this all ourselves. So, yeah, unfortunately, that just has to be priced in. And yeah, be aware, we got no idea about pricing. We might put this first set out there, and the price, we don't know. Maybe they'll, as soon as they roll off the production line, maybe they'll get gobbled up as fast as we can produce them, or maybe they'll just sit there. We really got no idea. So
I think they'll be gobbled up.
pricing is really tough. One thing that we can put out there is we're not well, I have to be careful what I say. I don't remember, and I'm not sure that we are going to be able to list for UPX and US dollars. However, what I can say is that for the Samurai Aquatics Decor shop, unless we are forced to, we will not be listing anything for US dollars, because if you've been listening to any of my shows, I'm just a mad freak for avoiding tax drama. So if we were to sell items for US dollars and then I build up a US dollars account in my balance, and then I'm obligated to send that cut to Cheese and D-Tech, that just opens up a can of worms as far as crypto NFT taxes. So yes. Ben's scared of tax. Well, if you know my backstory, I have very, very good reason to be. So, yes. Yeah, I'm just super cautious. So we will only be listing for UPX if allowed. But yeah, what I expect, again, pure speculation, is this kind of, we are in the better period. Like, we are the better business participants, right? So I expect that for a period of time, we will be manufacturing dribs and drabs in our little factory. Hopefully at some stage we're allowed to extend our business to other factories that we own. Again, we've got no idea. Can Samurai Aquatics operate in more than one factory? No idea. Yeah, no idea whatsoever about that. So I would assume that will run for a period. Once those kind of bugs are all ironed out, then I'm guessing that we will be provided with blueprints for our approved items or some kind of mechanic like that. And there will be some mechanism where we can nominate other factories to manufacture our items. Again, don't really know. So NFT Architect said demand will be too high for supply if you can't make them quick enough. Well, from the get-go, we know that we can't make them quick enough. So it's kind of really, really crazy.
I mean, that's good for us. Demand higher.
But
And you
it's
got to
not,
understand, it's a business too. It's a business as well,
yeah. But
sort of thing.
it goes back to your point too that you've been raising too, Cheese, where we want to buy these products ourselves. We're a
Yeah.
node development team, you know. We want to decorate our own nodes with our own products. But if we can only produce a dozen a week, or it's not even that, if we can only produce like 6, 7, 8 items a week, then we are probably not even going to be able to buy our own stuff. It's gonna, you know, we were gearing up to manufacture and supply the community, as I said, with thousands of items. And that includes decorating our own nodes and own projects and that sort of stuff. Yeah, at this point in time, you know, look, it might sound whiny, it might sound like we're negative on the whole thing, but it's not the case. We are super, super thankful for the opportunity. Yes, there's been struggles. Yes, there's been frustrations, but, you know, we've had a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we just have to adapt.
Yep.
We have to just learn how to kind of find a way to produce more without bringing up the bottom line for everybody. Because, like, yeah, sure, we want to make money, but at the same time, we don't want to keep out the little guys, the new guys coming in, who like just started something and want to, like, you know, that's why we have the uncommons. Like, that's why we wanted to make something for everybody, sort of thing.
Yeah, but just keep in mind that
thank you,
still so
NFT.
evolving. And yeah, NFT said it sounds like a handmade product, Speed. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
it's absolutely what it is. So, and it's like I said, it's not, well, perhaps it was what we signed up for, but it's certainly not what we thought we were signing up for. So, but yeah, we will adapt and evolve and move on from there. So just to wrap that up, I'll say if you are in the UDU and you do have a factory, maybe hold on to that for a while, because we don't know how that's going to play. This Metaverse production is brought to you today by the Samurai Aquatics and Decor Metaventure. Scan that QR code or click that link in the description and dive yourself headfirst into the Samurai Aquatics Discord server to pleasure your peepers on our current and future range of outdoor decor.